Well, hello, sports fans. It's Larry Eater with RunBlogRun. This is Athletics Chat 12, the epilogue, where I try to be profound and tell you what just happened for 40 minutes. So here's the idea. The idea was the brainchild of Mike Deering and Adam Johnson-Eater, the digital group known as the Shoe Addicts, who take care of a lot of our video and content. But the idea was to have me chat with Stuart Weir in Oxford, England, and me first in Madison and now in San Jose, California. And we talk about the topics of the week in athletics. And what normally happens is about 21 or 22 minutes before we're supposed to go on the air, I send a quickly jotted down list of topics to poor Stuart, and he goes through them and adds a few things, and we subtract a few things, and he tells me I don't know anything about these guys, and then I say I don't know anything about these guys. So then what we have to do is have to listen and learn from the other. Thank you also to our ombudsman, Jeff Shaver, who has listened to all of our socialing the distance and athletic chats and providing thoughtful comments on how to improve our presentation, my commentary, Stuart's thoughtfulness, my talking over Stuart, my mispronouncing Tiana Bartoletta's name is Tiana Bartoletto. Sorry, Tiana, it's Tiana Bartoletta, and I will practice that 10 times a day. So let's get back to topic because, again, guess what? Digression point. Today we started out with Gemma Reiki. Gemma Reiki is the training partner of Laura Muir. They're two fine Scottish athletes who have global ambitions and have done quite well on the European and global stage. Well, since the coronavirus, Laura Muir has not only shared her coach, Andy Young, with Gemma, but Gemma moved in with Laura, so it just could be a little safer. And what is Gemma going to do? Well, the two times that Laura and Gemma raced, she's beaten Laura. My gosh, isn't that rude? No, seriously. Indoors, Gemma broke the British record for the 800 meters with a fine 1:57 time. And just this last weekend in Italy, both Laura and Gemma went under 2 minutes. Great way to start. No racing for 4 months. Andy Young's really got some tremendous athletes. And Andy Young is a Scottish coach who was the World Schools champion at 800 meters back in 1994. He's a great guy. He's a guy you'd like to sit down and have a liter of Diet Coke or perhaps a couple beers with. He is, again, another example of the art and science of coaching. And his athletes listen to him, respect him. And it's fun to watch athletes and coaches and when it's working together. We'll be able to learn more about Andy Young in a fine series of articles that Stuart Weir will be posting on RunBlogRun over the next few weeks. So, next thing, Doha. The World Championships were last fall, and I have to admit, it was one of the hottest places I've ever been. It was even hotter than 1992 New Orleans Olympic trials in the U.S. And while that was fun, there was a lot of black and voodoo drunk. There was a lot of crawdads eaten. And Doha was fun too. I must say, getting into the stadium after the first night, while that 2.5 mile trudge was challenging, the stadium was wonderful. The problem in Doha was the lack of people in the stadium until about 5 days into it. Surely Qatar can build stadiums. Surely they can build hotels and make the backgrounds wonderful. But what Stuart and I were talking about was Qatar has some fine track athletes. But the 3.5 million people in Qatar, about 3 million of them are working immigrants. Some were expats, and many have been there for a long time. But it seems the crowd's made up of Ethiopians and expats and Kenyan expats coming to see their athletes, and Ugandan expats, and plus the travelers. Perhaps Qatar will consider working with other countries on a group Olympics, which is where it needs to go. One, because of future pandemics. Two, because of cost issues. It's getting prohibitive to put on an Olympics. And three, because that would really bring the world together. Think about athletics in Doha, football in England, something in Greece, something in Tokyo. Boy, the TV guys would really go crazy. So we'll chat about that another time. But and I'm just going back to my list so I can tell you what I was talking about. Why can't I do that? Okay. 0911. Cancel. There we go. So my next thing was World Athletics gave the Russian Athletic Federation a deadline, August 15th, $6.83 million by wire. Please, no personal checks, to the lovely banks in Monaco. And the Russian Federation can be considered to be part of World Athletics family. If not, bye-bye. And right now, athletes like Maria Lazinskaya, Sergei Shumenkov, and others have no country unless they go to another country. Maria Lazinskaya told her manager, Olga Nazarova, former heptathlete, gold medalist, told Russian media that Maria is not considering giving up her Russian citizenship and going to Belarus. Coronavirus update. Well, in the UK, you've got 46,000 dead. In the US, you've got 154,000. People seem to be getting fatigue all over the world with it. In France, the numbers are up 54% in a week. Spain, there's issues. The UK told its citizens that they could go to Spain, go to Portugal for vacation. And then as people were flying over, oops, can't go to two of the favorites, Catalonia, with Barcelona or Madrid, and a few of the other parts of Spain. Can't go to, because when you come back, you got to sit in a hotel for 14 days and be quarantined. So that's kind of put a kibosh on 18 million people going to Spain, and the Spanish tourism counts. Is Europe going to be locked down again? I'm not sure. UK right now is in a kind of an interesting, for different age groups, it's an interesting lockdown. I think you're going to see people over 50 pretty much on lockdown for a while there. In the US, I think we're going on full lockdown in a few weeks. But it's going to really annoy people. But I think President Trump is seeing that as much as he's still continues to say some whack stuff, there's some challenges. If everybody would just listen to Dr. Fauci, who I enjoy, and no one's perfect, but the bottom line is Europe shut down their economy at almost 95% of their economy. The U.S. did it at 50%. We're a much bigger country. But states like Wisconsin, where I was up until May 27th, and they had 5,000 positive cases. They're now at 46,000 positive cases. Yeah, not good. In California, it's just crazy. I'm in California now. There's 500,000 positive cases. And the simplest things, washing your hands, wearing a mask, not going inside with big groups. That's the biggest thing. If you're going to be with people, do it outside. Go walk in a park. Do a picnic table and keep your, if you have to keep your mask on, if you're like me, have had heart issues or other issues, keep your mask on, wash your hands. Just being able to see people is kind of a cool thing. But it's all about the droplets coming out of our talking and our singing. And it's not the church is bad. Do your services outside. Worship outside. You can do those kind of things, but socially distance. Be careful. Right now, we're going to be dealing with this thing for the next couple of years. I think We'll see something back of a season in 2021, but we're not going to see squat till 2022. We got to be careful. I don't want everybody being sick. We talked about Christian Taylor. I had a nice interview with him last week. Friday, he was heading. He was in Austria with his fiance, and he was heading to run 100 meters. He's run 10.6. Let's see how fast the triple jumper can go, or how that'd be kind of fun. Steve Cram, we talked about Steve. Steve, he had a big anniversary, Commonwealth Games, won the 800, won the 1500, and really enjoy Steve in his commentating with Paula Radcliffe. And he's always a straight shooter with me when I ask him questions, and I appreciate that. And I admire him and his lovely wife for putting on the charity group they do to help with water needs for schools in Kenya. I think it's a class act. And it's great to see athletes like Steve Cram, Brendan Foster, putting things back into the sport that they competed in and they've loved for such a long time. Holly Bradshaw. Holly Bradshaw is a gem. And I don't think she gets respected that much in the UK. She's gone as well as being fourth in a major championship. She's a class act. When Eliza McCarthy won the Commonwealth of the Gold Coast, Holly was gutted, but she said how happy she was for Eliza. And I think that's a class act. And you see that in the sport. And that's one of the cool things, again, in my professional time as a journalist or pretending to be one, there's very few athletes, if any, that have been jerks. Most of them were wonderful. They're a lot of fun. And I learn something new each time. And the same thing with coaches and officials. I know I drive officials crazy a little bit, but thank God they're patient with me. And coaches too. But the Zoom things are going to continue to happen because guess what? We got to be careful. And send me a note at runblogrun@gmail.com on some topics that you like. And we'll try to do those. But I want to thank Stuart Weir again. This is 12 weeks of this poor guy putting up with me. He's fantastic. And Mike Deering and Adam Johnson-Eater of the Shoe Addicts, thank you very much for producing and managing these broadcasts. And you, our dear viewers, please pass them around. The more people who watch stuff, the more people see things, the better it is for us. We can make a little bit of money, pay some bills. And this is Larry Eater with Run Blog Run. This is Athletics Chat 12. It's August 3rd, 2020, San Jose, California, Estados Unidos. Bye, kids. Talk to you soon.